I will say in each of the roles that you play, whether you're teaching a classroom of eager learners or leading an entire school district, we have all poured our hearts into capturing learning and really fostering curiosity and creativity and the love of learning with our students. A career in education is one worth celebrating. It's a life lived with purpose, driven by commitment to shaping the future. I can't think of a better thing to do than be an educator. I've been around some of the finest people in the world all my career because I chose to be an educator. It's a calling that goes beyond, way often goes unrecognized, but it's one that changes lives for the better. And for that, I salute each and every one of you. I've also learned throughout my career that there are seasons of leadership. The ebbs and flows of an organization continuously evolving. As we navigate those seasons of leadership, we come to understand that change is a constant companion. Change ushers in new perspectives, new ideas, and brings a fresh energy that can propel us to new heights. So for Battelle for Kids, an organization that holds a very, very special place in my heart, a time for change is upon us. And for me, as a leader, that time is now as well. So with profound gratitude, I'm announcing my retirement. This is my 38th year in education, and today I stand before you with some emotion, so that's why I'm standing here and that's why I have this. I'm doing my very best to keep this in check. But today I stand before you, certainly a little emotional, but really I'm filled with profound gratitude for the opportunities I've had. Here we go. See if I can keep it together. As you know, I said yesterday I began my career as a kindergarten teacher, and I never imagined then, this many years later, I'd be standing in front of you here today. My professional journey has been really incredible. I'm, again, profoundly thankful for the journey I've had. And it's really not over yet, it's just changing. I've worked with and learned from so many wonderful educators and educational leaders who have shaped and molded me, and I've been part of leading some very difficult but very rewarding work that I know made a positive difference, sometimes in small ways, maybe sometimes in large ways, for children, teachers, parents, and others, and that feels good. That feels good. I've had many, many stories and many memories. I also have some war stories. Do y'all have some war stories? I may tell you a few of those. But the great stories far outweigh the ones that were tough. Far outweigh. I've been so fortunate and really, really blessed. I started this journey, and I apologize, I'm going to take a few moments and tell some personal stories, but I've been very fortunate. I started my journey wanting to be a teacher because my father was a teacher, and I adored my father, still to this day. I wanted to be just like my dad. So I was a daddy's girl, and I loved my father dearly, and I just wanted to be just like him. So I became an educator, and I loved it. I loved it, and I've loved every role I've had a chance to play and every opportunity I've had. But throughout my career, I've had wonderful friends and colleagues who would tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Karen, have you ever thought about being a principal? Tap, tap, tap. Karen, have you ever thought about getting your doctorate? Tap, tap. Karen, have you ever thought about being a superintendent? Those taps on the shoulder have led me to this moment in time. And I'm indebted to all of those people, all of those wonderful people who thought enough of me to be compelled to say and suggest to me some new possibility, maybe one that I hadn't thought of. So I've tried throughout my career to make a concerted effort to tap other people on the shoulder and ask them, hey, have you ever thought about being a principal? Hey, have you ever thought of going over to this most challenging school that needs the best leader we have in the system? You know, tap, tap, tap. I have truly had some unusual and fascinating experiences. Many of you may not know this about me, but I once was a registered lobbyist. Can you believe that? I was doing that while I was working on my doctorate at University of Texas, but I was part of the poor lobby. not the lobby you're thinking about. I was part of the poor lobby. We were championing for Texas public schools, right? And there I started the Coalition for Texas Public Schools, which was a group of all the education organizations in Texas so that we were all working together and not at odds with one another. And we fought 2 regular sessions and 4 special sessions for increased funding for schools and to fight vouchers. And we prevailed on both those subjects, both those items. But what I'm really excited about and thrilled about is that coalition 25 years later is still functioning and still fighting for public schools in Texas. And if you follow the Texas legislature, man, we need great people championing for schools in Texas and all across the nation now more than ever before. In Houston ISD, that's what I call my school of hard knocks. I learned so much when I was in Houston ISD. I could write a book about that experience alone. You might see one of these days, a book about that. We experienced, just while I was there, 3 hurricanes in 4 years. And that alone was an interesting situation. Some of you may remember Hurricane Katrina. They thought it was going to hit Houston. All of Houston was evacuated. Y'all remember that? It was crazy. It didn't hit Houston, but it kind of did, because after that hurricane hit Louisiana, I was leading the charge to set up sites to enroll children that were coming to our school district from Louisiana. So we set up registration stations in the George R. Brown Convention Center and in the Reliance Center, and in less than 2 weeks, we registered over 8,500 students with no records. Can you believe that? That was a pretty interesting experience. Then in Lubbock, more stories, just a few I'm going to share with you today. There we passed historic bonds that improved the condition of schools. That was really, really needed. But I also closed 11 schools. So I'm standing before you. Yes, I'm probably one of the few superintendents in the country that have survived after they closed 11 schools in one district, 9 elementary schools and 2 middle schools. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to do as I became a superintendent, but it had to be done, and it was the right thing for kids. It was the right thing for kids. So I'm proud that throughout all of those decisions to close schools, we only had 2 people come to a board meeting to complain about it. That was pretty cool. In Fairfax, again, so many stories. There I'm proud to say that we changed school start times from 7 a.m. in the morning to 8:30. And there we had 26 comprehensive high schools and a bus fleet larger than Greyhound International. So everyone said, even in the Washington Post, it can't be done. We did it and did it successfully, and it was the right thing for kids. But all of my work thus far, all the years I've put into this, my proudest work by far is the portrait of a graduate work that I had the good fortune of leading. I will tell you, this was what really propelled the work that I wanted to lead. It became the impetus for wonderful systems change for all students. It changed the way we approached the design of learning, the way we were thinking about assessment, and it gave rise in really important ways to the voice of students. I've often said that the closer you get to our schools, the better we look. Our schools are great, and you may just not be aware of how great. But more importantly, the closer you get to our schools, the better we become together. The Portrait of a Graduate helped our larger community get closer to us and become a more meaningful part of our complete ecosystem. In each of these places I've had the good fortune and privilege to serve, I'm proud that serving all children equally well was a driving force in my work. And I'm pleased to say that I know that learning experiences for young people were made better. And in each of these places where I left, I've often said they were sad to see me go. I've always said that everywhere I've ever been, they were sad for me to leave because I didn't want to be that leader that outstayed my shelf life. Did y'all know that superintendents have shelf lives? It's true. Ask some of the superintendents in the room, right? And Battelle for Kids, I know I'm leaving this organization at the right time. When I said that when I leave, I want people to be sad to see me go, that's not really true. It's a little kind of tongue-in-cheek. Because the real truth is, I've been sad to leave every organization I've left. Every single one of them. So I was the one that was really sad because I loved them all and the people I had the good fortune of working with. I've been at Battelle for Kids for 7 years, but before that, I was a client of this organization for 11 years in 3 different districts. And Ed Leader 21, I was engaged with this organization for 4 years prior to bringing this network into Battelle for Kids. I wish I had found these 2 organizations even earlier in my career, because my association with them, with both of them, have fundamentally changed my perspective as a leader. And my wish for all of you in this room is that you get as much out of being a part of this as I have. It's been a wonderful gift to me, and I'm very thankful. Battelle for Kids is a special, special place, and there's nothing that this organization cannot do and cannot do well. Each and every member of the Battelle for Kids team is the very best at what they do. They're dedicated, they are brilliant, and they truly care about this mission and this work. They are, every single one of them, amazing professionals and even better people. It's been the greatest pleasure of my career to have led this organization and be in the company of these phenomenal people. So retirement, as I look ahead, holds the promise of more treasured moments with my family, and yes, more time with my grandkids that I can be obnoxious in talking about. But it also allows for the pursuit of this passion around education and 21st century deeper learning for me to explore it in new and different ways and to explore maybe some new interest. Yet my heart remains fully committed to the future of education and to this remarkable organization and this incredible network. I'm thrilled to remain involved at Battelle for Kids, contributing some special projects here and there, and of course, no matter what, I'll always be a staunch advocate for the power and promise of 21st century deeper learning for every student. I am pleased that the board has tapped Mike Duncan on the shoulder to take my place at Battelle for Kids. They have chosen wisely. I've known Mike for over 10 years, and I know he, along with this incredible staff at Battelle for Kids, will do amazing things. The future is very bright for Battelle for Kids and for Ed Leader 21. Mike's profound impact within Ed Leader Network and his engagement with Battelle for Kids for more than a decade, and his transformative work that he's led in his own district makes him the ideal choice to lead this wonderful organization into the future. I want to express my deepest gratitude to all of you as well. Each of you has played an invaluable role in shaping my journey, and I want to especially thank the superintendents in the room and some of the central office teams that I've had the pleasure of working with, and some of the teams in the UDC. Look forward to continue to working with you. I'm forever thankful for this wonderful opportunity. But let's remember, there's much work ahead. There's more to do. The future of education, led by the collective brilliance in this room, holds endless possibilities. Let us continue to champion the cause we hold dear, and let our legacy be one of boundless dedication, unwavering hope, and enduring power of education. So friends, thank you for your courageous work on behalf of children. I am both hopeful and extraordinarily optimistic about the future of education because of you and the work that you're leading in your respective districts. Thank you for allowing me to walk for a little bit beside you. It's been a pleasure. Now I get to pass the torch to the next leader whose vision and enthusiasm will undoubtedly propel Battelle for Kids to even greater heights. It gives me great pleasure, and it's also a very unique opportunity I think I have. It's kind of unusual. I get to introduce to the stage the new president and CEO of Battelle for Kids, Dr. Mike Duncan. Thank you, everyone. Now I get to cry a little bit.
Thank you.
Oh, you want me to wait? No. Thank you. Thank you all so much, and thank you for allowing me to tell a few stories. I really appreciate that very much. Someone asked me, Karen, I periodically have people ask me, how you doing, Karen? How you doing? What are your reflections on your career? I said, please don't ask me today, because I'm this close. So.
And I know what you guys are all thinking right now. Poor guy. He's got to follow that. Right?
No, he's good.
But Karen,
he's good.
On behalf of the Battelle for Kids family, we want to give you this, and it reads, with deep gratitude for your unwavering dedication and visionary leadership in sharing the future of education. We love you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very good. You want to take a picture with me?
Yes.
Oh, over here. Sorry.
Let me get this.
Let me sit this down. You are so good, so kind. Thank you very much.
And if you've ever had the opportunity to spend time with Karen, even just a few moments, you know how bright her light shines. And Karen, we just thank you for leading with courage and empathy, and on behalf of the hundreds of districts, the thousands of educators, the countless children, we just say thank you for showing us the way. And guys, I have been so amazingly blessed over the past several months, and I'm so thankful to the Battelle for Kids board because they have allowed me the opportunity to work alongside Karen. And her wisdom and advice has been invaluable to me. But even more than that, it's seeing the love and passion that came from this stage just now, seeing that behind the scenes in meetings about the love and commitment that she has for this work and that she has for you all, that has been so inspirational to me. And I just want to say, Karen, thank you, and I love you, and I appreciate this opportunity. So guys, for me, I feel like I have absolutely won the lottery. And I feel like I am absolutely the luckiest guy in the world. But let me set the stage for you. 2013, the Waverly Hotel in Atlanta, and a bowl of grits. And my friend Kevin. And we're sitting there, and we learn about this network called Ed Leader 21. Whose aim was to prepare students for their future and not our present. And Kevin and I went back to that amazing Pike County team to who I would not be standing on the stage if it went for them. And we said, hey, there's something cool happening that I think we need to be a part of. And so fast forward 9 months, Jenny and I go to Chicago and have an amazing time. And on a cold, rainy day in a taxi on the way back to O'Hare, I think to myself, I have found my people. And for the next 10 years, this Pike County team, we attended every annual event, every fly-in, every round table. Anytime this group was together, we wanted to be there. And I have incredibly fond memories, and some of you probably made some of those memories last night. The memories of finding the little out-of-the-way restaurants when you're out of town, because you never get to travel, right? And you find those little out-of-the-way restaurants that you only see on Travel Channel. And I remember a great story about, dare I say, the meat sweats in Texas. We had such a great time. But also thinking about the flight home and being huddled over napkins, cocktail napkins, planning our next big move because we had been so inspired with the work that we had heard about at this event. And so this network has given my career focus and passion and purpose. And for me, it's been restorative. It's been inspiring. It's been motivating. Because we know that this work is not easy. And rarely do we get to have our buckets filled as leaders. So often our buckets are being emptied because we're trying to give so much to our communities and our teachers and our schools and our leaders. But even though that journey is very complex, all along the way, there are these moments of magic that happen. And so many of you in this room right now have had your portrait for years, and you're in that deep execution, and it's hard. It's really hard. But I want to share a story with you that was magical. Last spring, Pike County Primary School we had Student Expo. And the Student Expo was wrapping up, and Principal Teal was standing at the door, and this little boy with the most amazing mullet came up and tugged on her skirt. His name was Tanner, right, April? And Tanner said, "I can't wait for tomorrow." And April says, "Well, what's tomorrow?" "Tomorrow, I get my feedback." And she said, "What are you going to do with that?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know, but I'm going to have a lot of work to do." Guys, that's the magic. Those little moments in the midst of the chaos and the complexity. It's those little moments that you celebrate. And April got home that night, it was probably 9 o'clock, and she called and told me that story. And that fueled our team for the rest of the year. I mean, it's those little moments. And magic can be found throughout this entire network. And I use the word network, but often this doesn't feel like a network. It feels more like a movement. And we've heard people say that over the last couple of days, that this is a movement. But like all great movements before us, a group of like-minded people come together and they say, what if? What if we co-create a new vision of learning with our community? What if we empower teacher and student voice? What if we prepare students for their future? And let's think about the future our young people have and the great challenges that they're going to have to solve because we prepared them for it. A warming planet, mass migration, the unimaginable consequences of AI. But I would say today to be encouraged and be inspired, because I believe that the work we do here is important, and that's why you're here. But I also believe that one day historians will write about us. And I believe this with all my heart. They will write about us and about the work that we're doing here. And they will say that we answered the call, that we met the moment. And dare I say that perhaps they'll even say, we changed the world. Because someone has to. Why can't it be us? So whether this is your first, your 10th, your 12th annual event, I want to say to you, welcome home. You found your people. So before you go to the breakout sessions today, I would like to invite you to help me. There's going to be a QR code on the screen, I believe. And on that QR code, I'm asking you to give me some advice, because I think it's quite evident that I have some really big shoes to fill. And there is an amazing team that is surrounding me, and they have been so generous and so kind and so gracious. But we want to hear from you always. And so I want to invite you to give some advice to Mike. Now, I warned my team that some of my Pike friends may not exactly give me PG-rated advice, so be prepared. But I want to invite you. So please help me. Before you go to the next breakout session, I ask that you give me some advice. What's on your mind? What are the things that you would like me to be thinking about? Because I am here to support you. And I just want to say that standing on the stage today is one of the greatest privileges of my life. And it is not lost on me that there are so many in that audience today who are overly qualified to be standing here. And I know I'm the luckiest guy in the world. So thank you for letting me walk with you. And I hope you have a great rest of the event. Thank you.